and welcome to the Vine Society. My name is Aaron, I'm a certified sommelier, and this is Wine 101, where I will walk you through everything you needed to know about wine, beer, and spirits. So enjoy, welcome, let's begin. Our first installment is just the very basics, and we're going to start with what is wine? In this program, we're going to cover a few things. We'll start with the very basics. What is wine? I'm going to talk a little bit about fermentation. Red, white, and pink, we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about what grapes make which wine, and we'll talk a little bit about crushing those grapes to begin the fermentation process. At the end, we'll take a short quiz, see where we're at. All right, shall we begin? Well, at its very base, wine is fermented grape juice, specifically from the Vitis vinifera grape. The process of fermentation, you may ask, what happens? Well, in the fermentation process, yeasts eat the sugar, then it releases CO2 and ethanol, alcohol. Here's a little chart to show you. Glucose, sugar, is taken in to the yeast cell where it is broken down into its components, carbon dioxide and ethanol. And just as a little aside, if you trap that CO2 instead of letting it go into the atmosphere, you end up with sparkling wine or champagne if it's from the Champagne region in France. But enough about one of my favorite wines. Most people think about wine in three ways: red, white, and pink. Everybody knows the red grapes: Cabernet, Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir. But there's also red Zinfandel, Syrah, Cab Franc, Sangiovese, Nebbiolo, many, many, many more. But you should just know those first three: Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Pinot Noir. White grapes, same thing: Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, Riesling, Viognier, Albarino, Gruner Veltliner, Chenin Blanc. Some of these are just really fun to say. There's many, many more white grapes, but you should basically just know Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Pinot Grigio. What about pink wine, you might ask? White Zinfandel, Rosé. Rosés are one of my favorite summer wines, but pink, it does not come from specific pink grapes. It's not a blend of red and white grapes, but more on that later. We'll discuss it a little bit later. Vitis vinifera, that Latin phrase that just rolls off the tongue. Red wine, made from red grapes. White wine, made from white grapes. It's pretty much as simple as that, those grape varietals that we discovered earlier. Now, where does wine get its color to make it either white or red, as you can see? Chemistry. Wine grapes contain anthocyanins. They're found all over the vegetable world in blueberries, blackberries, beets, purple cabbages, and the like. When you're making wine during the wine process, these anthocyanins stain the wine, giving it the red color that we're familiar with. So it happens in the winemaking process. When you're making white wine, you pick the grapes and you press them gently to release the juice, and then you immediately drain that juice from the skin, and it results in a juice that is clear to kind of a golden color at the final process. Conversely, when you're making red wine, you pick the grapes, you crush them to release the juice, but then you leave the juice on the skins and the stems for an extended period of time to macerate. And during this time, the juice extracts color from the skins. It also extracts body and tannins, but more on that later. The juice that you end up with is garnet to a dark purple in color, and that's the red wine that we're used to. So that's it, the very basics of wine. Now you can at least tell the difference between a red and a white, and you know a few of the grapes. Let's take a quick quiz just to make sure we've picked up the things we need to pick up. What is fermentation? Fermentation is a process where yeasts consume sugar and release CO2 or carbon dioxide and alcohol. What are the three most popular white grapes? Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, and Sauvignon Blanc. What are the three most popular red grapes? Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Pinot Noir. Where does wine get its color? From chemicals in the skins of the grape. And for an extra credit, what is that chemical called? Anthocyanins. Thank you for joining us on this little adventure. Take this information, learn to use it tableside, learn to use it selling wine, but also learn to use it to help you enjoy wine more. Thank you. I'm Aaron. Welcome from the Vine Society.